What's going on, everyone? So today we're doing a trade recap. This is going to be going over the trade that I took on Friday, September 23rd, shorted Tesla, took the 2-minute downside opening range break and made $2,305 in about 4 minutes. Ended up being a solid green day, and there's nothing better than having a solid green day on a Friday going into the weekend. And now just to break down all the numbers. So this is what I tweeted on my Twitter. So if you don't follow me, go do that. It's at the Matt Diamond. I said options are awesome. The stock that I traded today was Tesla. Total invested was $6,800. The reason why it was not a lot is because it was 0 DTE. Those options are always going to be cheaper on Friday. Same day expiration. Ended up making $2,305, which was a 33% return on investment, which is crazy. Now, this is not normal or typical results. The reason why that percentage is going to be so high is because it was Friday, it was 0 DTE, the options were incredibly inexpensive, and if you see at the bottom of this right here, I bought 20 puts at $3.40 and sold them at $4.55, so that's why these numbers are going to be pretty insane. And also remember, I've been trading for almost 6 years. So if you jump into the options world and you're inexperienced and you do not know what you're doing, you're most likely going to get beat up. I have years of experience, so I know what I'm doing. I have very defined setups. I'm going to go over the setup that I took on Tesla on Friday, and that's why I happen to do well. So now let's get into some in-depth market analysis, and then I'll go over the actual setup that I saw on Tesla. So starting with the SPY, kind of an overall market indicator. What happened a couple days ago? This was a pretty nasty sell-off. Failed at the 9 EMA, broke a lot of support. The next day, another day of weakness. And coming into today, Friday the 23rd, it was showing more weakness in the pre-market. To be honest, I thought there was a possibility of a bounce, but I'm never just going to get married to an idea or take a position because I think that could possibly happen. What I want to do is wait for a pattern like I always talk about off the open. But just overall market sentiment, there's a lot of fear and it's very weak. And the path of least resistance is going to be lower. So even though I thought that maybe there was a possibility of a bounce, if I see sellers quickly take control and there's a lot of selling pressure, overall, I'm going to think that we have a chance to go lower because recently, and not only recently, but even just the recent trend, after it failed to get above this 200 SMA, if you look, we just continuously keep going lower. So overall, the trend and the path of least resistance is going to be down. So after I've analyzed SPY and I realized that sellers are clearly in control, we're showing a lot of weakness. Going into Tesla, this is one of my favorite stocks to trade. What's happened the last couple days? So look at this fake breakout on the 21st. It looked pretty good for more upside. Clearly that's a reversal candle, closed below the 9 EMA, had another day of weakness, and it can't even hold the moving averages. So back below the 9 EMA, the 200, the 20, and the 50. Not obsessing about the moving averages too much, just realizing that the last couple days, short-term sellers have clearly taken control. And then we're showing weakness for a possible day 3 to the downside. Now, I thought maybe we could get a bounce. It felt a little oversold, but once again, not going to get married to the idea. I want some sort of pattern to set up off the open to prove that. And if for some reason we do not go higher and we end up starting rolling over to the downside, then I'm going to go with the flow because the overall market has been trending down. Now let's go over what happened off the open and the intraday. So these are 2-minute charts. That first 2-minute candle closed green. So knowing that the gap is down, that first move was up into the gap. If this had a chance to continue to bounce, it would have had to hold up. It did not do that. So it closed green and then very quickly, look at this reversal candle, kind of engulfing candle to the downside. It got back below 9 EMA and the VWAP. I ended up going short when it broke those indicators, anticipating a 2-minute downside opening range break, also knowing that there was a technical level below, pre-market low. So it came into that pre-market low, it bounced a little bit, but it never got above the VWAP and the 9 EMA. It rejected those indicators, rolled over, sellers took control, eventually got below pre-market low, had some nice selling pressure, and when it ended up getting to that 280 and broke just below it, that's where I took profits. And yes, it did go a lot further. Had I been patient and been able to hold my winners, I would have made a lot more. But by now, if you've been watching my YouTube videos, you know how I work as a trader. I'm all about consistency. I'm not trying to get the big win or hold for the huge move. I just want to get that quick move, and then I'm going to take those profits. And I know at the end of each month, that's how I'm going to be consistent and make money. It's all about doing what works best for you, and this is what works best for myself. So that was the trade recap on my Tesla trade from Friday, September 23rd, and how I made 33% return on investment in just about 4 minutes because the 0 DTE cheap options. Appreciate you watching the video. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. I just want to talk about a couple cool things that I have to offer. The first is going to be my newsletter watch list. This is exactly what I post on my private Twitter 30 minutes before market open every single day. I do a quick analysis of the overall market, the SPY and the Qs, if there's any major market news that day, and then all the stocks I'm interested in watching. It's usually 4 or 5, if there's any major news tied to them, and all the levels that I think are in play. To the left, this is exactly what I'm posting on my private Twitter. I make sure to add that newsletter. I take a screenshot of the charts, green line to the upside being long, red line to the downside being short, and I make sure to highlight those 2 levels above. This is everything that's going on in my mind and my game plan going into each market open. Also, I make sure to add a little mental note because every day is slightly different, and here's an example of that. And if you want something that's a little bit less of a commitment, I do offer a live one-on-one call for 1 hour. This is where you can ask me questions about my journey, go over setups specifically, everything that I've gone through as a trader. Whether you're beginner or advanced, this is a great way to connect with me. So if you're interested in my private Twitter or the one-on-one live call, feel free to go to callmattdiamond.com or check out the links in the description below.